guys, it's Elise from Blossom Elise, and today I wanted to share with you things, materials that you need to get started. As a beginner, intermediate, advanced, any kind of level that you're at, I just want to let you know that you don't have to run out there and get the best quality of everything or the most expensive things. There's so many good things that you can find on the market, especially with watercolour, that are in a really good price range and you'll still get a really good painting. So I want to share with you a few of my favourite things that I use. Let's start with paper. So for paper is one of the big things that I like to splurge on. I like to get a little bit more expensive paper just because it's kind of like the finish that I like. So you can get 3 different types of watercolour paper, or actually you can get heaps of different watercolour paper, but there's 3 different types of presses. So basically there's, I think, cold press, medium press I think they might call it, and then hot press. And the hot press is like a really smooth finish paper, and then you get down to the cold press paper, which is like a really textured paper. And even though the hot press I think is sometimes a little bit more expensive, they're all really good for different things. I want to give you a couple of examples here. So this one here is the Archies. It is one of the very high-end ones. This was kind of like a splurge for me, and it's something that I really savour. I really use it when I know work is going to be good. So this is the hot press in the 185, or the smooth press you can also call it. And it's going to be really hard to show you, but it's a really smooth finish on that one. So this is it here, and you can see how the watercolour kind of just blends in. You can't really see any real texture to the paper. I really like to use that because I just find it easier to work with, but I mean, different things give you different kind of textures and everyone likes something different. So that was the hot press there. This is another kind of paper that you can use. It is a medium press, so it has a little bit more texture to it. I'll give you a little close up so you can see what I'm talking about there. So you can see on her forehead a little bit where the watercolour, when it blends, you can slightly see that texture to it. It's really a tactile thing that when you have the work in your hand that you can feel it. And you can also see the way that the colours blend a little bit differently than the smooth one as well. This is really good because it's a little bit cheaper, and this one is the 300 GSM, so it is going to buckle less because it will hold more water because it is a thicker paper. So the next thing you're going to need is obviously paints and paintbrushes. I like to use a few different types of paints. So when I first started, I started out using something like this. Now these are little pans, they're dry and you add the watercolour to them. In one of my future videos I'll show you how to use the water into the pans and show you different ways to get different strengths. But these ones I actually really love. Now these are not very expensive at all. I'll leave a little link down below of an online website that you can buy them for and let you know how much they are. The next thing that I started using after that is in a paint tube. So the paint tubes are kind of like a really pigmented paste, and you mix the water in with these, and you can actually put them onto the little trays like this. So you can see I've got some dry ones here. I just actually use Reeves, and Reeves is a cheap student brand. They're really good, and I've used these for so long. I know that they, like Winsor and Newton, you can buy more expensive ones, but I just grabbed a pack of these years and years ago and I love them. Something else that's really good is the Winsor and Newton Designer Gouache, and I've only got one of these in the hot pink just because it gives a really vibrant colour. But gouache is slightly different to watercolour. So watercolour, when it dries into the paper, you can go back in again and work it in again, use some more water and blend it out a bit more. Once gouache is on the paper, that's it. Once it's dried, you can't go back and change it. So this is a really good for finishing touches, really bright pops of colour, things like that. The last thing that I use also, now this is a Winsor and Newton, and it is a Cotman's, I think it's part of their Cotman's range. So this is again similar to this kind of one, but kind of a little bit better quality. They are, you can see how I've just grabbed them and put them everywhere and blended the colours. So this is really good to travel with as opposed to the little tubes. You will also need paintbrushes. So I keep my paintbrushes in this cool little tray thing. Really good for traveling, and that's what I keep my paintbrushes on. Now you can see that I don't have very many. I have 4 there, and I think I have 2 in here just because they don't fit in there. So these ones are the Sceptre Gold number 2 and they're Sable and synthetic. So they've got a bit of sable hair in them and also synthetic hair. Now you want something that's really, really soft like these brushes. You don't need to get these ones exactly, but something with a really soft tip. So these ones here are Artist Watercolour Sable and they're Winsor and Newton again. You can get different cheaper brands in the soft kind of finish. Something that you really don't want to do is you don't want a hog hairbrush like this. So they're really, really tough and they're really hard to blend out the watercolour. So the last thing on my list is inspiration. Now you can get your inspiration from anything you like. I love flowers, pretty things, anything that catches my eye. There's really great websites like Pinterest. Pinterest is an awesome website. There's so many ideas, other artists, things like that. Grab some old magazines, rip out some pages, make a colour board, just put them in a folder. It's really, really good. So when you're stuck for ideas but you really want to paint something, you can go back to it and then you've got so much inspiration and places to start. Something that I really love as an inspiration book, now I picked this up a long time ago from, I think I was in Thailand at the time, but you can pick this up, they still sell this. It's called The Beautiful. It's basically a whole book of fashion illustration and I just love looking at this. The images are so pretty and they just give me so much inspiration. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful, gave you some ideas and just showed you all the materials that I use. And you can see that my collection is not a huge collection. I don't have heaps of stuff, but it's all about how you work with what you've got. So I'm so excited to get started on this how-to journey with all of you. And if you have anything that you've grabbed, picked up, started painting, anything at all that you wanted to share, just hashtag on Instagram. Hashtag illustrate with Elise, and I'm hoping we can all share our ideas, thoughts, and I hope this is really helpful for you. See you next time.